So start till.
Okay, so good afternoon. We will be going through GRN automation process, which is done for one of our esteemed manufacturing client. Satvik, can you please share the GRN portal? This this is GRN portal, which is which is created to reconcile the GRN. So in this portal, we have two parts. One is invoices which are coming from suppliers, and we have purchase orders which have been issued to those suppliers. Now we go to the invoices document library. In this document library, you can see that we are having the invoices which are getting uploaded to this document library. So the process is when any invoice comes either in the form of hard copy or as an email attachment, this invoice will be sent to one service email ID, and this service email ID will then digitize this invoice. Now you will see online how this thing works. So now we are sending the issued invoice to service email ID. Right now we are using it for one of the for the testing purpose. We are using it the email ID of Satmi. So in this, to make system understand, if it is a vendor invoice, we are using subject line as a vendor invoice. Now we will be attaching that invoice, which is come as an hard copy. We can take a scan of it, or if the email comes in the digital copy, we can just forward that email to the service email ID. So right now, we are sending this invoice through email to our service email ID. This invoice is been sent to the service email ID. Now this invoice will be received for the digitization purpose on the service email ID. Meanwhile, this digitization happens, we will just have a look on the invoice. So Satvik, can you please open the invoice? You can open any example. Yeah. So now in invoice, which is sent by Reddington to TechGal, you can see that there are many details available. Like you have bill to party, ship to party, then we have multiple line items available, then there is a register, then there is a purchase order number. So all these details will be captured in digitization process, and the database will be created from this invoice. So here we are using Power Automate AI in order to digitize this invoice and make the database out of it. Okay. So now we again go back to the invoice document library, and we see that the invoice details are captured. So if you refresh this, then you see that the invoice which we send to the email ID is appearing in our document library in a database format. So we have got a name, we have got an invoice number, we have got a invoice date, vendor name. All these details will be we are appearing now. Earlier you saw that those details were not there. Now it has got all the details, that who is the vendor, what is the invoice number. So this data is automatically updated as a part of the database. So now we have digitized the invoice. Now next step is we are going to digitize the purchase order, because we want to make reconciliation of vendor invoice to the purchase order. So now we go back to the purchase order database. So in purchase order database, we are using Zoho Books as a I will say the package to process our financial transactions, or it is like a it can be Tally, it can be ERP. So we are using Zoho Book. So we have taken all the open purchase orders and we have updated them as a part of the list. Now the next process is reconciliation. Reconciliation means that we have to find out which invoice belongs to which purchase order. So this can be done in two ways. One way is we can manually see the invoice number and we can select the purchase order in front of it, that we are showing it right now. So if I select the purchase order number, which I know, then what will happen is in front of the invoice, all the purchase order details are appearing, which you can see that there is a value, there is a GST identification, everything which was a part of purchase order and not available in invoice is now appearing there. So we call it as a manual reconciliation. This can be also achieved by automatic reconciliation if we are having the purchase order number or reference number available in the invoice in a text format. Okay, now this reconciliation is done and now the invoice against purchase order is matched, GRN is done, that is good receipt is done. Now we want to send it for the payment purpose. So we have attached here the approval flow, which you can see that the notification has been sent on the Teams, and let's say Satvik is the accounts payable person. He is going to approve this invoice and he is going to send this. He is going to approve this request and he is going to say that we are okay to process this request, and notification can go to the finance person who is going to make this bank transaction. So this completes the GRN reconciliation process, that is start from receiving the invoice, matching with the purchase order and sending notification for the payment. Even we can make the payment automated by connecting it to the bank API. This is achievable. So far we have tried it, but for one of our esteemed customer, we are basically processing it for the purpose of reconciliation only. So when we compare the advantages over the earlier system, in earlier system, since it was a person dependent, many a times invoices were missed, the invoices were not recorded properly, the reconciliation is person dependent, the mistakes are done. Sometimes if invoice and the PO number is not matching, still reconciliation is done. So those system controls were not present, and the accounts payable person and the person who is making reconciliation needs to be very dependent on each other, and there were no system controls available. So it was adding to the delays, it was adding to the manual mistakes. With the help of GRN automation system, we are in the position to achieve automated reconciliation with system controls, and we have approval flow which allows maker and checker operation. So all in all, this provides a good system control and reduces time to process your invoices and gives you better clarity on what is my account payable for this month and what is my as of today what has been achieved. So this is how the system works. Any questions? You can put it in the chat and we'll be more than happy to answer it. Thank you.